stomach, I'm shaking all over. Oh, but not for long, because I don't want to be on high blood pressure medicine. I'm your host, the most Donald Wood. This is Brandon Galvin. We are 2/3 of Ring Rust, the better 2/3. It's like the Shield. We're Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Mike Chiari's Roman Reigns. That's how I feel.
It's all right. It's really not, though. You're really the Roman Reigns of Ring Rust Radio.
Because I could be The Rock?
No, that's not why, but you are the face of Ring Rust Radio, unfortunately.
Yeah. That is what my assumption of what, like, that's my interpretation of the women filter of, like, duck face and the peace sign. Mm-hmm. This is a great way to start the show. We watched Raw, and again, as we usually do, we just try to avoid talking about it as much as possible. There were some good things, and there were some bad things. There were things like, Ben Gay on the dick. You know what I mean? That's definitely something that we did in 2019. That
pussy hot.
My BG.
That was the Revival's best performance of all time so far.
They definitely sold it. We talk about Bray Wyatt, and it's just he's selling it. He's all in. And you know what? Whether it was good or not, the Revival sold us on it. Yes, and I agreed. Let's PG explain what we're doing here. Then let's just jump in a roll.
Donnie, you and I represent, like you said, the best 2/3 of Ring Rust Radio, which is a long-form podcast, just hours and hours of us talking about wrestling. We do fantasy games. We review WWE, NXT, NXT UK, and soon AEW, Donnie, changing the world. That's what we do at Ring Rust Radio. Almost a decade we've been doing this. Yeah, and for almost a year, you and I have been coming on every Monday night, unless we're in the hospital, to come and review Monday Night Raw, to give our instant reaction, our instant feedback. This is our first foray into video on Get Vocal. This is what we do now. Every Monday night, every week, just like Raw, 11:15 p.m. Eastern.
It's just like, it's my first foray for the last year. It's just like when you have a relationship. I just did my foray into, relationship. Oh, we've been going out for a year? I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. But let's talk about the brand split, because it's a thing of the fucking past now. Because the Wild, with ratings suck so hard that we have to do something about it. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna shoot the brand split down, and just fucking have Romeo. We think that Romeo Regs is gonna solve our ratings problem. And guess what? I can't wait to see Raw ratings, because they're gonna be abysmal. They're gonna be. It's not like they advertised a fucking WWE championship for the first time in 3 years. It's not like they advertised this tag team match between foes from Money in the Bank. They didn't advertise fucking Roman Reigns is going to be here to start Raw.
Right.
They thought that was going to put asses in the seats. And guess what? They were fucking wrong. I'm telling you, Raw ratings are going to be abysmal.
We don't know yet. Now, if you go by the earnings, calls, Vince definitely thinks that the ratings dipped when Roman Reigns was out, because Roman Reigns and John Cena were both out at the same time. So, like, they hitched their wagon to Roman Reigns. That's what they think is going to give them the ratings. So that's why they did this week. Now, I agree with you, as I always have, when it comes to ratings, where last week's show, in my opinion, dictates the ratings for next week's show.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no way to know what's happening on your show if you're not tuning in. You're going to look at the results and say, oh, D-Bryce showed up, Kofi Kingston showed up, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and AJ Styles are going out. Okay, let me tune in next week to see what's happening. I agree with you. If you want to have Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan have a championship match rematch from WrestleMania, why not announce it for next week or for tomorrow's SmackDown to get people to tune into your show? Just having it said in the opening, you're giving people a lot of credit to then say, all right, come back in 2 hours to watch this main event. Text your friends to tell them that this is about to happen. You got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs going on. People aren't going to do that.
No, right? And as we get deeper into both playoffs, it gets harder and harder to keep these people watching.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I understand it. I understand it from their perspective, to where they're like, we have to do something to move the needle.
Oh, yeah.
And Vince McMahon truly believes that Roman Reigns is that guy. And I don't believe that. And I think that what you have to do is you have to advertise something big. You have to do something big, and you have to make it really important. This feels like okay, we have to have Roman. This is an all hands on deck situation because we need ratings desperately. So let's shoehorn a rule in here to make this acceptable to the viewer. And it's just this is fixing the symptom, not the disease. This is fixing one of the issues that has arisen because of this, not fixing what is the cause of the issue. There's a root problem here that Vince doesn't see, and he thinks he can just keep fucking putting band-aids on shit when it's the dam is leaking. You got to do something about it.
Yeah, see, when it comes to that, so that's a great point though. As far as like the problem is the booking, you're going to do this wild card rule to get people to tune in. Don't get me wrong, opening of Raw, one of the best openings in a long time. It was very exciting.
It was very long. It was
long, but you have with the commercial break, mind you. But it was entertaining to see once D-Bry comes out, you're like, holy shit, because the opening with Roman Reigns and Vince McMahon didn't really give a fuck. Why Roman was there? Don't know. I still don't understand why he was there. So then you have D-Bry come out. Now I'm intrigued. Then you have Kofi come out. Okay, I'm intrigued. AJ Styles comes out before the commercial break. It's like, all right, these are four of your top stars. Like, you guys are throwing out all the punches. Plus Vince is out there, so I'll give him credit for that. And this Raw was a lot better than last week's. I came on last week and asked you a question of, if you went to this Raw, was there anything memorable that you would tell your friends? If you went to this show, you had some memorable things. You saw a lot of superstars. Now, the point about the wild card rule, though, is it's gonna wear off very quickly, right?
It's gonna become like Amy said, that it kills the brand split. Eventually, at some point, they're gonna lose track of this 3 fucking superstar dumb bullshit. They're gonna think that ratings are Duke. They're like, we got to do something about it. Like we just saw, like Amy just said here, your fucking Raw main event was a rematch of 2 SmackDown stars. Mm-hmm. So you realize how stacked your SmackDown brand is, and you're like, fuck, we better use it while we can.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck is gonna as this Fox deal gets closer, as this transition to Fox gets closer. Mm-hmm. I am more and more uncertain about what the fuck they think they're doing, dude.
I do think that plays a role in this, though, where it's like,
I think it has to, because we're getting 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, let's have a rule now. Let's create something now so that once we get to Fox, we can get AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch on this show whenever we need. I agree with you that there is this problem about booking that's awful and their storylines are awful. But as far as trying to come up with something of, we have to have some type of out for in 5 months, probably the most future thinking that they've done in a very long time.
I honestly don't believe it's for that. I think that weighs on them. I think every decision they make has that in the back of their mind. Mm-hmm. But I think that this is a situation where the fucking boat's leaking and we got to fix it now.
Sure, it's definitely a Band-Aid. And
we ain't going to sail to. I'm afraid, BG, that Fox could cancel SmackDown. 20 years, they could just cancel. $5 billion, and they're going to go.
I'm sure.
Pull that plug.
I'm sure they're going to do that with their consistent Friday night ratings.
I know. Live sports, it's like anyone can have them.
It is clearly a Band-Aid, though. My bigger problem is what you were alluding to before about the root of the problem, which is booking and storylines. When you just have guys bouncing around between shows and you don't even know who's doing it from day to day, what storylines are you going to be having? Right? You're not really having storylines.
I don't know. I think it like this. I look at it like this. I think that what we saw with Becky being on Raw and SmackDown and receiving 2 different storylines, she became like the Viking Raiders, where she's just talking 2 different entities essentially on 2 different shows. My worry is that you're going to get that with more people, and as you do that, Vince is like, okay, 3, let's do 5, and then there is no brand split anymore. And then we didn't have the brand split before, but what I like about the brand split is that more people had more opportunities, because they're essentially creating 2 competing companies to go against each other, but they're really the same company working together. So you create this, you're creating your own competition.
Right. So when they first announced 17 years ago, this is crazy, 17 years ago, and we've had it where they brought the roster back for a period of time. The roster is just too big for them to have one combined roster, Kofi Kingston would never be champion. He would never be in that position. They probably would never have had that gauntlet match, right? It was just never going to happen that way because there's too many people. I mean, you just look at the Raw roster already, and especially the SmackDown roster. We talked about that for a long time, even when they were doing great, where it's like there's not enough time for everyone to get some shine. Like, you have to do it NXT, even with the brand split, you really have to do it NXT style where this week is our top 3 storylines here. Next week, it's going to be these 3 storylines. That way you have this, you keep everyone fresh that way, right? Yeah. But if you have a main roster that's combined, you can't do it that way. They need to have it separate. There's just too many people. Last week, we didn't even have Robert Roode on the show, right?
I think that what we're going to see is a lot of how Mike Chiari said about Becky Lynch. He called it oversaturation.
Yeah,
and it's you're gonna get if I get Roman, I don't like Roman. What if I'm the fucking? You talk about getting people to tune in. What about the people who are already tuning in and we're like, I'm not really a Roman fan. Great story, good for the guy. You know, I'm happy he's back and healthy again. But I mean, I'm not a fan of him as a performer. So you know, I now got to see him twice. Now he's in now he's in 2 fucking main storylines. It's like, no. I get when, because Mike Chiari hates Becky Lynch. He sees her in 2 main storylines. He's like, where's Kaka? And he's all sad about it because she quit on him. So, I mean, I understand his perspective, but I feel like we're going to get a lot more of that. You're going to get that with AJ Styles. We'll love it no matter what. We'll get Rollins. We'll love it because we like those people. What if we did? What if it's Corbin? What if Corbin's on both shows? You're going to fucking hate it? Everybody's going to fucking hate it. Mm-hmm. So,
what was weird is they had like 6 people on tonight's show from SmackDown.
Never enough AJ. Amy, ease off the fucking AJ throttle. I don't think I've ever seen an Amy comment on one of our fucking drafts without her being like, I choose AJ. Right. I did not choose you, George. I choose you, AJ. Which I appreciate the dedication.
There will be a time where eventually AJ is here long enough where all of us can have an AJ Styles match, and she's just going to not know what the hell to do.
No, they just got to base her fucking decision on the other matches instead of just.
She might abstain from voting.
I think what she's going to have to do, and what everyone's going to do, is go vote for Donald Wood. Patreon.com/ringer. Go vote for Donald Wood. A vote for Donald Wood is a vote for the right side.
Because both of you fucking cheated, and because he cheated, there's votes for you, and because you got one through, there's votes for you. So you're just getting all the votes because of the stupid rule that he created and you breaking it. Mm-hmm. I had the best card.
Okay, Mike, thanks for all I know is that first place tastes great. I know that much. That's because I'm a winner, and I'm in the victory circle a lot.
To see what happens
there. Let's move on. Let's rapid fire a couple things. Kofi and Daniel Bryan, a very good match. Daniel Bryan, I knew Daniel Bryan was going to lose because fucking he ain't going to Saudi Arabia.
I wasn't so sure.
If anything, if Kofi's going to lose, it's going to be a cash in. But I think I hope this year they fucking give it to somebody, and then he runs with it for 200 days or something like that. We need a long run and a successful cash in a lull period. But I'll say this. They are fucking throwing everything at it. I don't know why. You can see I don't care because I just have the background. I'm like, should I throw it? I'm just like, I threw it at where it might have once been. Whatever. Bray Wyatt's almost got attacked by a vulture who killed the bunny from the week prior, and it's getting darker. Each week it's gotten progressively darker, a little bit each time. The kids were not having fun. That was what Mike Chiari looks like when he watches these videos at home. He's like, I want to react, but I can't because I've built this reputation as such an asshole about this, so now I can't even enjoy it. But yeah, I agree that Bray Wyatt's incredible. I know that's what you're about to say.
Me?
Yeah. Yes, you.
Oh no.
You don't like these? You're still not. Are you?
No, I just don't. I don't think Bray Wyatt's incredible. I'm intrigued. I'm still intrigued by these. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks. We don't know. I still really like. I'm still behind the idea that we came up with, of course, on Get Vocal. No one else did. That this is all in his head, right? This is all in his head.
I think that definitely this should be where it's going to, and it just gets darker and darker and darker. Because if he's really just a fucking Mr. Rogers kind of guy, that's just what's
the end game?
Yeah, what's the end game? So, but if he's crazy, if we like catch him and he's like in a mental institution, in a straitjacket, right? And all of a sudden they're like, "All right, Mr. Wyatt, you're free." And he just turns and he's like, "Let me out," and like or something like that. And you're like, "Oh shit, he's been there the whole fucking time by himself." Like, yes, whatever this is, let's go. So I
feel like the let me in is his like inner demons, like.
Or it's saying, or like I said, he's always been a cult figure. He's always been like a cult leader who needs like minions to help like do his dirty work. Which that's great. That's what heels do. That's what fucking Four Horsemen were essentially minions for Ric Flair's cult leader. His cult was about pussy and fucking limos and Rolex and shit like that. But Wyatt's is more about swamps and fedoras.
Doesn't wear it now though.
Yeah, it's true. You talk about my hairline, his fucking hairline's like LeBron style up there.
Dude, Corey Graves shaved his head.
It's whatever. He had his fop thing on his fucking head. I hated it. He looked like the top of an ice cream cone. You know that last little dollop that like comes up and like curls at the very tip?
It was like
that.
It was like part of the character though of this. I don't know.
No, it's fine. It does not change it one bit. I hate him a little less because of that, I think.
You like Corey Graves?
I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's really good, but I think that his hair makes me hate him a teeny bit. And like he's a hipster.
That was the whole point, right?
As somebody who's wearing Walmart, not ironically, this is not a gimmick. This is my you can see what you sad by the deer or the tits?
The latter.
Squeeze them together. Shake them.
Come on.
Yeah, dude. Shake them. You won't break them. Yes. Anything else? Did we miss anything else? Sami Zayn died. R.I.P. See, that's what I missed from Bray Wyatt. Killing people. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about. The only way this is 100% acceptable. Oh, he killed Roman Reigns on he didn't drop Roman Reigns on his head. Roman Reigns dropped him on his head on the stretcher. Remember that when he dropped him like head?
That was Braun Strowman.
Yes, I'm saying, and he killed Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman killed Roman Reigns.
But you said Bray Wyatt.
Oh, sorry. It was just the Wyatt family. It happens sometimes. The only way this is acceptable.
You miss Braun Strowman killing people.
Yes, I miss Braun Strowman killing them. And Bray Wyatt could kill some fucking people too. Probably be children, so don't do that. Kill their parents when they come to pick them up. I don't know.
They're bad parents.
The only way that this works is if next week they have like a forklift come out like towards the ring, and on it is a pallet with just like, you know, when trash gets compacted, it goes in those squares. I want it like around Sami Zayn, like those when you were in like the old West times, they were wearing barrels like naked underneath. So all you see is like his feet and his arms out the sides and his head, but the middle section is just a block of trash.
Did you just watch like an episode of Looney Tunes?
No, because my life is perpetually Looney Tunes. And no, because my fucking daughters watch Octonauts and fucking Dino fucking. There's some shit out there. You know, Dino trucks is a thing. It's trucks that are dinosaurs.
It's a good idea.
It's honestly probably the best show she watches because it's kind of they add a lot of adult thing. One of the fucking dino trucks poops. It poops. Yeah. That's it. That's my life. That's my welcome to dad hell. Like that popped me so hard. I was like, "Oh shit, is that truck pooping?" Dinosaur train. I know the dinosaur train one. Yes, dude. I have nothing left to talk about or care about at this point. So BG, work us back out.
Donnie, that was a rousing review of Monday Night's Raw.
Honestly, I'm so fucking tired.
Honestly, their show may have been better than ours for the first time ever.
No, absolutely fucking. Look at how good my fucking hair. I just let my hair down right before this. My hair is like, I'm fucking good, dude. I got like if Brad Pitt had long hair, this is what it would look like. Why do you disagree? That's a very stern look you shot.
Go watch the movie Troy. He's fucking magnificent.
No, I think that Hollywood ruined what was a already false story of the Iliad and the Odyssey. So
that was a great movie. This was our great review of Monday Night Raw. We do this every Monday, 11:15 Eastern. We break down the good, the bad, and the so much ugly from Monday Night Raw. That's you, Donnie.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm fine with that.
You can catch our more in-depth review of WWE in general, along with other wrestling companies such as AEW. It's coming up, Donnie. Double or Nothing. You going?
No, George wouldn't let me.
George wouldn't let me either.
I'll say this. I may not be changing the world with AEW, but I am supporting Impact Wrestling. Saw them twice in the last week.
I'm going next month.
Oh shit! Mike Chiari's going to Ring of Honor, so we have like all the lower tier shows covered.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Oh, you're gonna be in front row, and I was on TV side. We're gonna, you better fucking enjoy life now because your life is about to change for fucking ever, dude. Because once you make it on Pursuit channel, they say you can make it anywhere.
I don't even get that channel, but I'm in pursuit of finding out how. Hey Donnie, get vocal, boys. Changing the world. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Where is it?
There's Beyond. I watch Beyond Wrestling, and it's Joey Janela and Chris Dickinson, and they're called the Slither Boys, which reminds me of the Slither Boys. Yeah.
We created that.
Yeah, they might be Team Slither or something like that, but it's definitely they are the Slither Boys, and he's the Slither King, and Penelope Ford's the Slither Queen. It's fun. There's a lot of fun going on. But what I'm saying is, I have better hair than Joey Janela. That's a shoot. That's a shoot.
And if you want to hear Mike Chiari's reaction to that,
Dirty Daddy. I'm the Dirty Daddy. I kept yelling, I'm the Dirty Daddy.
The Dirty Daddy.
I look like a fat RVD. No? All right, guys. God bless America. We'll see you back here next week. Once I find out how to stop this broadcast. Where did BG